decisions. He asks us to choose this day who we may serve. Genesis chapter 15. We're going to start off in the 13th verse. Genesis, some should be familiar with this already. Genesis chapter 15, 13 through 16 is where we're going.
Genesis 15, 13 through 16.
Sure.
Then Yah told Abram, your descendants will be oppressed as slaves in a foreign land for 400 years, but I will punish the nation that enslaves them, and at the end they will come away with great wealth. But you will die in peace at a ripe old age. After 4 generations, they will return here to this land, for the wickedness of the Amorite nations living here now will not be ready for punishment until then.
Mm-hmm. Praise God.
Hallelujah.
There's a lot of prophecy in here. He tells us, rest assured that for 400 years we're going to captivity. That's what he said on one hand. Then he also says the nation that takes us captive will face their punishment. Mm-hmm. Then he also says Israel will return. So all this prophecy here, we got to find out where do we fall into this. What part are we at in this whole prophecy?
All right.
What does Yah have in store for the ones that went into captivity? What does Yahweh have in store for those who took the ones into captivity? And what does Yahweh have in store for those returned? Choices. Deuteronomy chapter 11, verse 26. Some of this we should be familiar with already. See, Yahweh he just wants obedience. That's all he wants.
Hallelujah.
Is that too much to ask for? You know, we all been children in here at one point in time. And you know, when we were children, we never could reason why our parents want us not to do one thing. In our own minds, we just knew it was for our own good, for our own interest, basically for our own pleasures, whatever the case, whatever it was. Uh, 26, chapter 11, verse 26.
Deuteronomy 11, verse 26. I am giving you the choice today between Yah's blessing or Yah's curse.
He says he's giving us this day a choice between the blessings or the curse. So a lot of us don't realize that we have a choice before the curse is already upon us. It's already too late. Simple choices that Yahweh asks us to make a blessing or a curse, to follow his ways, or go about our own ways, to do what he says, or follow the dictates of man. And it's not partially our fault because, it's coming times now when we have to understand that some things are not right, but it's partially not our fault because we were taught some of this stuff from childhood. Malachi 2, 7 through 9. That's where we're going next. And when we get older, then we make our decisions to go to church and things like this. We bestow our trust and our faith in these preachers who we think are going to lead us and steer us in the right direction to salvation. But some of us actually wisen up, or we get woke enough to understand that Yahweh's the only true salvation. Malachi 2, 7 through 9. That's where we're going.
Malachi 2, 7 through 9.
Mm-hmm.
Priests' lips should flow with the knowledge of Yah, so the people will learn Yah's laws. The priests are the messengers of Yah, and men should come to them for guidance.
That's right.
But not to you, for you have left Yah's paths. Your guidance has caused many to stumble in sin.
Whoa.
You have distorted the covenant of Levi and made it into a grotesque parody, says Yah of hosts. Therefore, I've made you contemptible in the eyes of all the people, for you have not obeyed me, but you let your favorites break the law without rebuke.
Saying woe to the preachers, choosing favorites, not teaching the word of Yah, misleading people on an unrighteous path. This is happening over and over and over and over again. You'll see it happen tomorrow. The blind leading the blind. So Yahweh says, woe to those who mislead his flock. But Yahweh shines or smiles upon those who come up out of that. Us right here. Deuteronomy chapter 13. We're going to go 1 through 4. Well, pause right there for a moment. I want to, no, oh, man, listen. I'm talking about just put your finger on that Malachi 13, 1 through 4. I came across this verse last night in Daniel. I want to read you something right quick. And this is go to hell. We're going to go to Daniel chapter 1. And we're going to pick up at the 11th verse here. Yeah, Daniel chapter 1. We're going to pick up the 11th verse. Because I just want to pause right there for a moment. This is something I wanted to share. And I meant to share it before we started. And this is pertaining to health. This little clue that Yahweh leaves me.
Wait, Daniel 1 and what?
Chapter 1, 11 through,
Okay.
11 through 18. No, 19, I'm sorry. Uh, 18. 11 through 18. But yeah, this is one thing I love about Yah. Sometimes he reveals stuff without revealing it. That's if you understand what I'm saying. But it takes reading. It takes understanding what Yahweh already requires of us to kind of put the two and two together or read between the lines. But this is something awesome, I thought.
Daniel chapter 1, 11 through 18. Daniel talked it over with the steward, who was appointed by the superintendent to look after Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, and suggested a 10-day diet of only vegetables and water.
If you don't know, this is also awesome. When Daniel went to captivity, they changed his name to Babylonian names. Kind of like how we are today. When they took us from our homeland and they changed our names and gave us Babylonian names. And
they're up here. They're in verse 7.
Yeah, they're up here. And so I find that awesome that how the story lines up. You can always cross your T's and dot your I's. Like, it's no coincidence that their name got changed, because once you take somebody's name, that's already taken part of the culture away from it. But I can continue. That's why I just wanted to put that on there right there.
Verse 13. Then at the end of this trial period, the steward could see how they looked in comparison with the other fellows who ate the king's rich food, and decided whether or not to let them continue their diet. The steward finally agreed to the test. Well, at the end of the 10 days, Daniel and his 3 friends looked healthier and better nourished than the youths who had been eating the food supplied by the king. So after that, the steward fed them only vegetables and water, without the rich foods and wines. Verse 17. Yah gave these 4 youths great ability to learn, and they soon mastered all the literature and science of the time. And Yah gave to Daniel special ability in understanding the meanings of dreams and visions.
That's right.
When the 3-year training period was completed, the superintendent brought all the young men to the king for oral examens, as he had been ordered to do. King Nebuchadnezzar had long talks with each of them, and none of them impressed them as much as Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, so they were put on his regular staff of advisors.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
It was saying, because they changed their diet. They didn't eat the rich foods. Normally when you see king's foods, a lot of these movies, you see the little fat pig up there and grapes all over the place and wine flowing, meats everywhere, the rich foods. So it's just a lot of in the scripture because it's telling them they didn't take that food. By not taking that food, they didn't take on the ways of people. Sometimes people can get blinded by, celebrities, people who they feel who's an idol to them. But Daniel and the rest of them didn't. They didn't take the food, and because they didn't take the food, and they took the vegetables and the fruit, they looked better. Yahweh increased their knowledge, their wisdom, and dreams and interpretations. So I just want to point to that the benefits of eating right and the choices of eating good food. But we can go back to Malachi, where was at first. That was just a side note for y'all. Praise y'all.
Malachi 2?
Yeah, Malachi 2, 7 through 9. Is that what we were? Or we were in Deuteronomy?
We already read. We were going to Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy.
1 through 4.
13, 1 through 4, yes. We were talking about the preachers misleading the flocks and the duty that they're supposed to have to teach the laws of Yahweh and how they're going to face the punishment for not doing so.
Deuteronomy 13, 1 through 4. If there is a prophet among you, or one who claims to foretell the future by dreams, and if his predictions come true but he says, "Come, let us worship the gods of the other nations," don't listen to him, for Yah is testing you to find out whether or not you really love him with all your heart and soul. You must never worship any god but Yah. Obey only his commands and cling to him.
Only God. It says, if a prophet or a dreamer of dreams arises among you and offers you to do a sign or a wonder for you, and then he says, "Come on, let's follow other gods," whether it be Jesus, Yeshua, Buddha, Krishna, Allah, whatever the case may be. He's telling you of the blessings that you may be able to get or partake in, but he's telling you have to go through somebody to get it. Follow me, let me show you how to get it. When Yahweh says, have your faith only in him. Because Yahweh says it's a test. He's testing you. Are you going to be faithful to him? Or are you going to use what these fake prophets say use to better your way? The book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, 13 through 15. See, we're dealing with these preachers who go through 4 years of seminary school or how many years it may be, and they get these plaques and certificates man-made, and now they think they're doing something.
Right.
It took me a long time to figure this stuff out. I had to sit with Morays and get on countless hours of study and talk with people and see and connect the dots before any of this made sense. But now that I can see, I want to ask y'all to change nothing. Jeremiah chapter 6, 13 through 15.
Jeremiah chapter 6, 13 through 15.
Praise God.
They are swindlers and liars. From the least of them right to the top.
From the least to the top.
Yes, even my prophets and priests. You can't heal a wound by saying it's not there. Yet the priests and prophets give assurances of peace when all is war. Were my people ashamed when they worshipped idols? No, not at all. They didn't even blush. Therefore they shall lie among the slain. They shall die beneath my anger.
Black folks will tell you without batting an eye they believe in Jesus. Or if they Hebrews, they tell you believe in Yeshua. Or some just don't tell you they don't. I know some say they don't believe in Allah or anything. They their own God. But Yahweh says, all this is done in His plain sight. The ones He have chose have neglected to follow His ways, and we go after idols because we think it's more beneficial. Yes, sir.
This class is actually very ironic, anyway. Because yesterday we were at, that yellow African bookstore?
Yeah.
The worker who was there, we were talking about exactly this, everything you're talking about. That he was saying how I understand about the Hebrews and everything. He was black. I understand about he was Hebrew. The Hebrews and everything, but don't just take just that. Don't just the book. You should go beyond that and look at all these other things. What else did he say? He was saying how what else was he saying? Yeah, about Egypt and stuff, saying that we were Egyptians. And I said that, but why would in scripture we were set apart from them?
Oh.
So how could we be Egyptians? And what you just said about Jesus and everything, it just clicked to me. No matter where we went, these are places that speak different languages. No matter where we went, the book was written in Hebrew, the mother tongue of our people.
Yeah.
But in the New Testament, it's all in Greek. So how is that given an exception when the holy word, the holy writ that Yah gave to us was Hebrew?
Good question. Good question. See, it's being aware though. Everybody's trying to do that like you did that. Every time before I do a lesson, I always ask Yah, what am I supposed to deliver? What do the people need to hear? And I just let my fingers go. And wherever my fingers take me to, what comes out. And this is what comes out. So if it hits home, that's just Yah, because He the one is putting this together. It's not me putting this together. I'm just standing here just telling Him, just deliver what He told me to deliver. And it's always amazing how that happens. Because you say He set us apart from the Egyptians. We're going to get to that in just a few moments. That's somewhere here. But I guarantee we'll get to it in just a moment. We just read 6 through 13 through 15, right?
Okay.
In Jeremiah?
Yes.
Deuteronomy 13, 6 through 9. And you're going to find out with Yahweh, there's nothing ironic. There's no coincidences. It's just right on time every time with Yahweh. He's right on time every time.
Hallelujah.
And that's what amazes me, because it's like how you used to go to church back in the day when you never went to go to church for 6 or 4 or 5 months, 6 years, and you finally go and you feel like the preacher's talking to you. This is not. It's Yahweh right there at that time. This is what you needed to hear. You was at the wrong place at the right time. But now you're at the right place at the right time. So praise Yah. Deuteronomy 13, 6 through 9.
If your nearest relative
Mhm.
or closest friend, even a brother, son, daughter, or beloved wife, whispers to you to come and worship these foreign
No matter
gods,
who it is.
do not consent nor listen, and have no pity. Do not spare that person from the penalty.
Mhm.
Don't conceal his horrible suggestion. Execute him. Your own hand shall be the first upon him to put him to death, then the hands of all the people.
Mm-hmm. Now, we'll get to this part of the book where a lot of people, they start clenching up and Yahweh's a bad guy and he's evil. Why would he kill? Why would he tell you to kill? But our thoughts are not his thoughts. Our ways are not his ways. The execution that you do today, when he's telling you no matter if it's friend, mother, brother, auntie, if anyone comes to you foreign gods, you execute. You execute them with the word that you have. You tear all that down. You let them know that that's not what they're talking about. That's not correct. You ain't got to do it in a demeaningful way, but you must chop it right there and there. Because a lot of us like to reason. It's okay. This is however you see it. Y'all told us never let them see it how they see it. That's what got us in this mess right now. Because we see it how we want to see it, not seeing the way Yah wants us to see it. That's why the preachers, you can't tell the preachers nothing. They'll tell you that, yeah, the fourth commandment is, the fourth commandment says remember the Sabbath. But on the other hand, they'll tell you in seminary school, or whatever you call it, that they tell you that they changed the day. Huh?
I said cemetery.
They tell you they changed the day, so how on the other hand can you say that Yahweh's word stands true, but man changes it on the other hand? It says, woe to those who mislead my flock. So no matter who it is, nip it, cut it, right there. If they come to talk about any other thing but this, but not Israel. We like to entertain such mess.
Yeah, that's true. Don't want to go out there.
That's why there's so many people in these huge churches.
Oh yeah.
Because they compromise. Even my anthropology teacher knows this.
We like to be entertained. What more can I say? We like to be entertained. Church is entertaining. You know, with the people going down the aisles and stuff like that, and rocking pews, and the music blasting, and everybody jumping, and everybody looking cute. But nobody's learning nothing. Yeah, that's what it is. Club church. Isaiah 32 through 3. Yeah, we like that mess. That's why Yahweh's separating those right now. Because everyone doesn't like that mess. I can't tell you nothing about Empire. I can't tell you about nothing about Love and Hip Hop. I can't tell you nothing about none of these shows or none of this music going on right now. Because I don't fool around with it. It ain't a part of me no more. And that's what it is, because a lot of people don't like change. A lot of people don't like to lead. It's really not the change that people don't like. It's when you change the stuff that other people don't like. They're afraid they're going to hurt somebody or offend somebody. Isaiah 32 through 3. Start up in that first one, 1 through 3, actually.
Woe to my rebellious children, says Yah. You ask advice from everyone but me, and decide to do what I don't want you to do. You yoke yourselves with unbelievers, thus piling up your sins. For without consulting me, you have gone down to Egypt to find aid, and have put your trust in Pharaoh for his protection. But in trusting Pharaoh, you will be disappointed, humiliated, and disgraced, for he can't deliver on his promises to save you.
Hallelujah.
Yahweh said, woe to the rebellious sons of Israel. He said, we ask everybody's advice but him. Remember that. We're going to read that again. He says, we ask everybody else for him, seeking to go to bondage. You know, a lot of this advice that people give us is not really good advice. Sometimes. You have some true friends that give you good advice, but for the majority of us, a lot of us don't get good advice. Or not the advice that y'all can give us.
Hallelujah.
He said, we'd rather go down to bondage, take shelter in bondage.
Willie Lynch.
Or what they say, misery loves company.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome. Loving our oppressors. Deuteronomy, chapter 31. So yeah, why are we here today, Israel? Why are we here today? Because we're trying to get to know Yah. We're trying to get to, we want to know what He has in store for us. How can we fit in His plan? What was that? Deuteronomy chapter 31? Pick up at the 16th verse. We're going to go down to 18. He's speaking to Moshe here. Deuteronomy 31, 16 through 18.
And said to Moshe,
Shalom.
you shall die and join your ancestors after you are gone.
Mm-hmm.
These people will begin worshiping foreign gods in the promised land. They will forget about me and break the contract that I've made with them. 17. Then my anger will flame out against them, and I will abandon them, hiding my face from them, and they shall be destroyed. Terrible trouble will come upon them, so that they will say, Yah is no longer among us. 18. I will turn away from them because of their sins and worshiping other gods.
Praise Yah. He's telling Moshe here, now when you die, Moses, these Israelites are going to go on to break my covenant. And this is part of how Christianity was ushered in by saying that we're not under the covenants anymore, that we're now under the grace or the blood of JC. And we'll nip that in the bud a little bit later on here. But Yahweh told them that we will basically go on to worship other gods. If you don't understand anything about Israel's story, Yah was upset that we stepped away from Him. That's the number one thing. Besides the list of many other things, He didn't like us worshiping other gods. Because you want like your glory given to another. If you do a job, a nice little job done, you want your credit. Or your check, or whatever the case may be. I can't go give your check to somebody else for you doing the job. Before too long, it's going to be a problem. And I definitely know that Israel will speak about their money. Their food and their money. The book of Joshua. Yahshua. Was that Yahshua? But not the one we believe in salvation. There's none of that. That's what we talk about, serving other gods, so we can't be talking about that. There's no one besides Yah. Joshua chapter 23. We're going to read verse 6 and verse 16. chapter 23. Actually, yeah.
6 through 16?
Nah, 6, the verse 6, then go down to 16.
Okay. I thought you just changed it. Yeshua 23, 6.
Read 6 and 7, then go down to 16.
6, 7, and 16. But be very sure to follow all the instructions written in the book of the laws of Moshe.
Mm-hmm.
Do not deviate from them the least little bit. Be sure that you do not mix with the heathen people,
That's right.
still remaining in the land.
Mm-hmm.
Do not even mention the names of their gods, much less swear by them or worship them.
That's right.
Verse 16. But as certainly as Yah has given you the good things he promised, just as certainly he will bring evil upon you if you disobey him. For if you worship other gods, he will completely wipe you out from this good land which Yah has given you. His anger will rise hot against you, and you will quickly perish.
Aren't we perishing?
Yes.
Besides the boat rides over here, how many people we lost? Besides the many years of slavery of the people we lost. Just the last 2.5 years of the Black Lives Matter thing, of the children for Trayvon Martin, all up until today, of what we just lost. When do we get to see it? When does our eyes begin to open? If they're there.
From 1492, arrival to Columbus to 1650, we lost 90 million people that were already here.
Mm-hmm. And that's not an exaggerated number. And some people say it might be higher than that.
Maybe higher than that.
It's because was from that trip all the way over here, every place that we touched our feet, we got to take on the ways of the other nations. Whenever I get a chance, I read that whole 6 through 16. I just took out the 2 what I wanted y'all to hear, but that whole thing is rich in there. Because Yahweh says if you value your life, you would take heed to this. A lot of people don't have self-respect. A lot of people don't think of themselves, I guess, as worthy or could be in the sight of Yah. That's why Israel ran the first time, because we didn't think we was good enough to be in the sight of Yah. We said, oh, Moses, that's too much. You get in there for us. So Yahweh said you can come to him directly. As we read last week when David went before Yah and prayed and said, why did you choose me? The book of Jeremiah chapter 2, 11 through 12. So we just left Joshua. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's stay in Joshua. I apologize. Go to the 24th verse. The 24th chapter, I'm sorry, of Joshua. And we're going to pick up at Joshua 24, verse 3 through 6. I praise y'all for this word, because it's like this word lets you get through the booby traps, the snares and the pitfalls that this society has set up for us.
Joshua 24, 3 through 6. But I took your father, Abraham, from that land across the river, and led him into the land of Canaan, and gave him many descendants through Isaac his son. Isaac's children, whom I gave him, were Jacob and Esau. To Esau I gave the area around Mount Seir, while Jacob and his children went into Egypt. 5. Then I sent Moshe and Aaron to bring terrible plagues upon Egypt, and afterwards I brought my people out as free men. Verse 6. But when they arrived at the Red Sea, the Egyptians chased after them with chariots and cavalry. Let me keep going on.
Oh, no, you step right there. It says, Yahweh sent us to Egypt, sent Jacob into bondage, then brought us out free men. Or, we put clear thinkers. He brings us out clear thinkers from all that mess. For a little moment of time, it was clear thinkers. In that same verse, in that same chapter, pick up at the 14th verse. And read 14 and 15. 14, 15, and 16. Chapter 24 of Joshua. 14, 15, and 16.
So revere Yah and serve him in sincerity and truth.
Mm-hmm.
Put away forever the idols which your ancestors worshipped when they lived beyond the
Put them away.
Euphrates River and in Egypt. Worship Yah alone. But if you are unwilling to obey Yah, then decide today whom you will obey. Will it be the gods of your ancestors beyond the Euphrates, or the gods of the Amorites here in this land? But as for me and my family, we will serve Yah.
But for me and my family, or me and my house, if you don't have no family, if you don't have no house, then you yourself is your house. That's Yahweh's house. Then serve Yah. The 16th verse says, the people answered, we have no intention of deserting Yahweh and serving other gods. This is what our ancestors said. We have no intentions of deserting you, Yah, and serving other gods. Has anyone ever told y'all they're going to do something and doesn't do it? Anyone ever felt that feeling? Man, you said you were going to. I know, man, but you don't kind of look at it the same no more, do you? You don't put your trust in it the same no more, do you? So how do you think Yahweh feels about Israel? When we sat here right here and said, oh, yeah, we're going to do everything that you say. And look at us now. Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 14.
Are we still reading Jeremiah? 2:11.
Oh, yeah, that's all right. That's what we read. Yeah, let's go there. Jeremiah chapter 2. Thank you, Todd. 11 through 12.
Jeremiah 2:11 and 12. Look around you and see if you can find another nation anywhere that has traded in its old gods for new ones.
Mm-hmm.
Even though their gods are nothing, send to the west to the island of Cyprus, send to the east to the deserts of Kedar.
Mm-hmm.
See if anyone there has ever heard so strange a thing as this. And yet my people have given up their glorious Yah for silly idols. Verse 12. The heavens are shocked at such a thing and shrink back in horror and dismay.
The heavens are shocked. Nations. So everybody knows who Israel is but us. In that same chapter right here, go to the eighth verse right there.
Even their priests cared nothing for Yah, and their judges ignored me. Their rulers turned against me, and their prophets worshipped Baal and wasted their time on nonsense.
The priests don't care nothing about you. They want that money in your pocket. They want that tithe. I think Moray said he spoke up here, spoke to, what's the brother's name? Walker. And he told him to pull back the curtain. You'll reach more. He said he put it down there and said, I reach more people on Sunday than you're able to reach on Saturday. Interpretation means that money coming in on Sunday. Don't worry about Saturday, brother. We're going to reach a lot more people on Sunday than you can on Saturday. It says the priest had never asked, where is Yah? They don't know who Yah is. It says the shepherds have rebelled against me. What nations have traded their gods for worthless gods? Who but Israel? Who but Israel allow from the time we got off our boats to take the type of punishment that we took? Our children being killed daily, and all we can do is say, oh, we forgive them. When God says an eye for an eye. Yeah, something to Zora?
Yeah, and me and my mom, we always notice that when we go out on Sundays, it's like still sunrise up and everything. We see people walking around, look like they just came from church or about to go, but even though they're not celebrating, like, you know how we do, we go straight home, because Yah says rest, don't do any work, don't go out shopping, stuff like that. But Christians, they'll look nice going shopping, going out to eat, doing all that type of stuff when Yah said it's his day. They don't even completely give the whole day to him.
Oh, no.
For a few hours, yeah, maybe, but not wholeheartedly the whole day. It's too much.
I remember about Saturday, you try to keep shalom all day. As long as possible you can. It's like as soon as you get out of church on Sunday, you look into what can we get into? Yes.
The scripture that says, the eye for an eye, where is it located?
Let's see. It's in Deuteronomy. Let me think for that for a second. So while we get there, that is what Yahweh wants us to do anyway. Because it keeps order, and it keeps those from taking our children from us, and that it keeps everybody an equal playing field. You know, if they lose one of their sons, they know next time, and that shows the rest of the community. That shows the rest of the community that zero tolerance. Like in the military and things like that, they have zero tolerance policies. At your job, they have zero tolerance policies. Yahweh wants a strict order with Israel. But I'll get to that in just a second, Mother, because I did it off the top of my head. But it'll come to me before we get out of it. Ezekiel, we'll go to Ezekiel before there. Ezekiel chapter 14, 1 through 6.
Ezekiel 14.
Chapter 14, 1 through 6.
Deuteronomy 19:21.
Thank you. You want to read it? Or someone want to read it?
Deuteronomy 19, verse 21. You will show no pity.
Mm-hmm.
Life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, and foot for foot.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
See, that's Israel. When someone doesn't have an answer, someone does have an answer. And that's what y'all wanted to do. He always wanted to each one teach one, because now they need to understand is when Trayvon Martin went down, that would have been the end of it. That would have been stopped. That would have been the last case. But we have, once again, we have allowed them to give us their ways. Now, well, let's just handle it through the court system. Yeah, you killed my son. You killed 80 of us already this year. But yet we keep going through the court system. And that one case has been deemed, or one of these people found guilty.